I'm not sure how to explain this one, guys. We're just going to have to look at it because it is typical San Francisco. And let's take a look at this video, and I'm going to go to hell because, I did laugh at this, but I'm not going to laugh anymore. I know this is bad. Let's look at this. So that is a gentleman who is hosing off a homeless person who apparently has been camping outside of the business for several days, and this is the context to the situation via Reddit. And this has gotten a lot of negative reaction. There's a lot of people trying to cancel this dude. They're threatening him. They're going to the business. This is what happens online. It's just so unnatural. It's so unhealthy. People have to be angry at something. And this is certainly not a good situation. You should not hose people off. I agree. But I just think so many of us have mental health issues. It's like we're canceling some random dude that nobody even knows the context of this situation. But it is a bad look. Now, the context of it from the article: the dude has lived in San Francisco for 45 years. He said this confrontation was the result of multiple attempts to get the woman help after he spent days cleaning up her mess and letting her sleep in the doorway. He added that she often knocks over trash cans and her behavior has scared off his clients. I'm very, very sorry. I'm not going to defend myself. I'm not going to because I can't defend that, he says. Just a situation where people are getting real fed up with the amount of homeless people, possibly affecting your business. If there's a homeless person outside of your business, it certainly isn't going to enhance it. Now, maybe people will still go into it, but it's not a positive. This was something I saw on Reddit. I'm going to read this off just because it's interesting about this burger chain and their stance behind not leaving off a bun when on a burger. So this will be a nice little argument. So here's the review. They graded it a 1 star. Visited yesterday. Beautiful interior design. Apparently this is a new restaurant. Quite the selection of bourbon. Unfortunately, the server was quite inflexible. We had someone who had a gluten-free dietary need, and they ordered a burger and requested to leave the bun off. The simple request was not able to be met. Yada, 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 yada. Let's see what they respond with. It says, but is it a burger if there's no bun? We feel very strongly about our burgers having buns, and we can't be responsible for removing our burgers willy-nilly. The bun removal procedure has to be performed by the guest strictly for liability purposes. This seems like a troll. Simply for burger retention alone, all future burgers need to have the assurance that they will leave our kitchen with their buns intact. What happens to them at the table is out of our hands. So just a very weird situation from the business. They wanted the bun left off, and they're saying, I don't know if this is a troll response by the business to kind of have fun with it. I agree. If you're going to have a hamburger, obviously you need the bun. That's part of it. It's like eating a hot dog, just eating I should not have done that hand gesture, but just in general, I agree with them, but this is just a weird trolly response by them, very analytical, very technical. Millennials are causing a baby bust. They aren't having enough kids to keep the U.S. population at the replacement level. This is something Elon Musk has talked about. And then the response is that's because rent is $1,500 and jobs are paying $12 an hour. No, inflation has gotten totally out of control. I agree, but I also think there's a major feminist movement right now, and a lot of these young women agree with it to where it's almost negative to give up your career and have a kid because that's a major commitment. The women empowerment movement, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm very independent, guys. That's the thing. I'm very independent. But it is a situation where it's like these women are just obsessed with their careers and they view having a baby as a hinder when really that's what nature is, and it actually makes you feel so much better after you have the child. That's what so many women say. And just looking at this overall, guys, this morning, I was filling up like at 7 a.m. I was filling up my tank of gas. I went into, I ran out of pre-workout. I needed caffeine before going to my workout, and I bought one of those Monster drinks, energy drinks. I hadn't had one in probably a year, maybe 8 or 9 months. $3.59 for one of those cans of Monster. I mean, our purchasing power has gotten destroyed, and you wonder why they're printing so much money. Inflation is up. It costs $400,000 now to buy a 3-bedroom home. I mean, rent in any city is basically unaffordable for the vast majority of young people. It is disgusting and it's horrible. And now they want to hire 87,000 IRS agents, and then they're telling us, oh no, the new IRS agents that we're hiring are investigating the billionaires. Really? You need 87,000 IRS agents to investigate 200 billionaires? How many IRS agents does it take to audit a billionaire? At least 5,000 according to their logic. If we need to hire almost 100,000 IRS agents, guys, we all know those IRS agents aren't going for the billionaires. That's the whole point. They're billionaires. Even if they get hit, they're not going to jail for tax fraud. They'll pay it off. They're coming after, people like us who are just middle-class citizens. If you're hiring that many, it is disgusting. It's horrible. They need to repeal that, and this goes all into it. They're trying to keep our purchasing power down, and it is disgusting. Percentage of Europeans who would fight for their country. Well, you know what? This is a very bad look for NATO. This is a terrible look for NATO. But of course, Ukraine being as high as it is, I don't know when this was surveyed, but I'd imagine it was very recently, with it being dark red. And you can see some of the countries there with no data, but many of the NATO countries, not a lot of people willing to fight. I'd like to see America, what the percentage is in America. That would be interesting to me. Hi, excuse me. I just found out the professor for this online course I'm taking died in 2019, and he technically still is giving classes since he's literally my professor for this course. I'm learning lectures recorded before his passing. So these people paying multiple $1,000s for each of these classes, and the dude is dead, and it's all pre-recorded. This is some education connection level type stuff here, folks, with these colleges. Where is his college? You know what? Maybe you hope it's a community college, but it's probably like Arizona State or like actually a real college, and this is how badly it's being done. No wonder none of these kids can get jobs coming out of it. They're not even teaching stuff. They've got dead people who are recording lectures in 2019, 2018, and they're charging you $5,000 for the course. Bread always falls on the buttered side. Well, it is science. Well, number one, guys, I don't understand. Maybe I need to try Nutella again, but I've never been a fan of Nutella. I think it's nasty. And then when it comes to this whole thing, guys, when you put butter or Nutella on one side of it, it's just gravity. It's going to weigh more, so it's going to lean that way. When you think about it, it does make sense. Amazon delivery driver falls into customer's uncovered septic and has to be rescued. In his next video, he says he was told to finish the route after falling in about 3 feet of sewage and just disgusting, whatever from toilet and things like that. That is just horrible, and that is more just borderline slavery from Amazon. It's not surprising. This is after the holidays. So here's your holiday gift. We're going to slave work you. And actually, guys, this is how crazy it got with Amazon. Let me tell you something on Amazon. Amazon, there were 3 or 4 different scenarios during the holiday season. Number one, Amazon got so overwhelmed. We've got a factory near here. It's like 40 minutes away. They got so overwhelmed by the amount of demand and the online orders, they didn't have enough Amazon delivery trucks. So you've got these 15-year-old kids, some of the like 12-year-olds, honestly. I saw like a 12-year-old driving one of these cars, delivering packages like he's Santa Claus. They tell him, listen, we don't have any more trucks. You're going to have to put the packages in your cars. We will hire you. We don't care if you're 12 Just go out there, deliver some packages, guys. It's disgusting. It's terrible what Amazon is doing. And Amazon did legitimately scam me out of an Xbox. They sent me a used Xbox and then said, no, honestly, it was one of their employees that did it. It's not surprising. It was a total online scam, and I lost $300 and am currently in the process of suing them. So this is nothing new from Amazon. This is when you have a company this big, this is what happens, and they treat their employees terrible because they say, listen, this is an entry-level job. You don't need any qualifications. We'll just fire you. That's why they got people coming and going. They flip them like sardines. They'll be in for 2 weeks. They'll get fired, and then they'll bring the next person in. It is a horrible environment, just a terrible environment. So this was, guys, I think this is a little much. I'm sorry. Maybe this is an unpopular opinion. So it says, our tragedy is not your news backdrop. Who the fuck do you think you are? I mean, come on. It's like a month and a half after those murders in Moscow, Idaho. And certainly it's terrible. You feel bad for the families, but really, are we really going to police it this badly? They're just on the scene. Nancy Grace, I'm not a fan of hers, but come on. I mean, these people are just really, we've got to be mad at something every day almost online, it feels like. And then we get this one. Found $150K in the mail today. Big thanks to any U.S. taxpayers out there. So this is a tough one for a lot of us, especially the people that paid off all of their student loans and the people that didn't go to college. Seeing this now, reading the comments on it, apparently this is a big hassle. It's not like the government just sends you free loan forgiveness where they pay off, six-figure worth of loan. You have to go through a bunch of hoops. But still, I think a lot of us look at this and it's very cringy, but we can't say anything. They'll get mad at you. You can't say. It's real bad. I mean, you're welcome, but it's a joke to me. $150,000 that you get bailed out when there's hardworking people that have literally taken multiple decades to pay off their own student loans, and then they say, oh, just because they paid off doesn't mean that we should be forced to. Well, I know you were 18 or 17 years old, but if you signed it and you took on that debt, that is what it is. It's a terrible system, I agree, but to expect people who have already paid off their own student loans or didn't even go to college and have no advantage with any degree, to expect those people to pay for your degree? Is that not a little greedy? I'm sorry, it is. And then this, we've got more homeless. It's a mess. This is from TikTok. Let's watch what this is.
Kids have to come and play. There's a kid's playground.
What? So what the fuck does kids playground have to do with?
You're sleeping in a kid's playground.
So what?
Can you move?
No. No way.
So we'll end it on that. Amazing. Sleeping in the kids' playground. It looks like a nice sandbox. Has a nice little, ground to sleep on. Very warm, almost cushiony there with the sand and things like that. Unbelievable. I do not know where that is, but I think I saw a tweet. It was somewhere in California. We're very surprised there. But guys, that's going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description.